Hey, how you doing? There's probably no one out there, is there? Because it's a strange time of the day, but I thought I had a couple of horses ready to run. I was going to do some live racing. It's showing some strange things over there, though. Hang on a minute. Live YouTube, unprepared. Afternoon, Jamie. How's it sound? Does it sound all right? I was looking for that on my phone, and I can't find it. A bit of Q&A, bit of live racing. Let's see how we go. What's going on here with my racing screen? Come back to that one for a second. My horses. There we go. And this one goes in a minute. Let's watch 3D. Boom. All right. What have we got going on here? Throw a couple of questions in there in the chit chat as well if you like, because we'll do that after. I've got about 3 or 4 races. We got Vindaloo racing in this one. I've been selling a few horses and just testing them out. Vindaloo, I don't think the odds were very good though. Woodward Stakes. Woodward Stakes. Where are we? Is it up yet? Just on Zest Play. And this horse is a $17 thing. Here he is, she is, Vindaloo. Probably, I better go back to the other screen, hey? I just quickly jumped on live. It's all a bit haphazard. Geez, there's a lot of people coming on this time of the day. That's awesome. No, I haven't heard anything about the next drop yet, Mark, at all. I don't expect it to be soon. 4 seconds to run. We've got a few horses to run here. Do I know how Zed is proverbially? Is that how you say it? Fair. I don't, mate, I don't. I'm not a real technical person, to be honest. I understand patterns, but when it gets into the deep mathematics, there's Vindaloo here. We're not expecting a win. We do see the odd 17-1 winner. I think this is only her second race. The odds haven't been fantastic. You can look her up. She is for sale. I don't even know what blood she comes from, but it would be pretty decent. Alerts are working. Yeah, it's been busy in here today. Vindaloo. So who have we got? We got Surface Drizzle, Trail Ridge Runner, Pootie Tang, Ronald McDonald. Hello, Ronald McDonald. It's a celebrity race with Ronald McDonald, the comeback kid. Hanj Zoe, Misty Arrival. I'll never make a race caller, will I? Here's Vindaloo. Oh, what do you got, Vindy? Anything? Sitting back for a slingshot. Give us something. 400 to go. Oh, it's not half bad. Might be enough for a 4th. Here comes Hanj Zoe, if that's how you say it. Yeah, this is looking like a 4th or a 5th from Vindaloo. Maybe even a 6th. Oh, come on. No, 5th. That's the way it goes, isn't it? 17-1, you don't expect too much. Could you see that okay? Hopefully. I think so. Jay with some big moves. Sold my whole stable yesterday and picked up a Z7 Zabo Legend. I take it it's a male, is it? Good on you, mate. Making some moves. Who we got next up? Next up we have in 2 minutes 52. Who have we got? Recognise any of those horses. They're not even my horses. What are you doing in my next to run race without my horses? What is going on here? I'm not even sure this is my race. Zabos, is that where the money's at the moment, team? Supposed to be in this race. Charlotte National. Let's have a look at Zest here. Let me bring Zest over here, eh? See if we can find the Charlotte National. Here it is. Do I have a horse in this race? There, Common Princess, $14. Not great. Not great odds, is it? But you never know. Why isn't she showing up here? Oh well, hopefully this is the right race. I will get back and answer as many of these questions as I can. Geez, I tell you what, legends, you're not really paying the entry fee, are you? It's been a while since I've done a live, but 37 viewers, 5 likes. 5 people pay the entry fee. Come on now, hit that like button. We've got 1 minute. Common Princess in this race. Oh, what are you doing to me? Yeah, there she is in 7. She is a foal from Excited Princess. Excited Prince, sorry. And who else? $14 is not great though, is it? She's a Finny. Not sure who the other one was. Free glue legends for Azabo. Probably a good move, Jay. Oops. Time to pick up my boy from school. Lucky my wife is doing that. Oh, Alex, how did it go? Oh, nice, not a donkey. We'll look that one up in a minute. Grand jury. All right, here we go. Common Princess, that one there, that's the one we want. Who have we got? We got Super Ice Cube, the G, Soul Sister, Pendant, Lily, Cinnamon Dreams, Blazing Saddle, Dementico, and a few others. Got a Star. I don't know who the favourite is. I should know, shouldn't I? Because I had that up. The favourite is, to keep an eye on, looks like Blazing Saddle and this one, Subway. $1,400. We should start seeing some moves. Come on, Common Princess. Let's have a bit of a roughy upset here. It's a decent run from Common Princess. She's going to get run down by Dementico pretty quickly though. I feel another 4th coming on. Oh dear, it might hang on for 3rd. I think it will. Money back. Money back. Hopefully. The worst run, was it? Wasn't the worst run. What else have we got? I think this is the last one, this next one. Oh no, 4 minutes and 7 minutes. Alrighty then. What if we flick this back up and we load up Hawkoo. How do you spell that? Hawkoo Zed Run. I quite like this Hawkoo. Is that how you say it? Hawker? Hawkoo? Hawker? Anyway, what was your horse, Alex? I feel like I'm talking to myself. Grand jury. Ooh, $5.80 average odds. That is interesting. Wow, you might have something there, mate. You want to sell it back to me for the same price you bought it for? Decided guarantee. If you get a great horse, I'll buy it back for the same money I sold it for. That looks special at the long distances, doesn't it? Sure does. Class 3 in any paid event, even though it's, what's that, a $5 maybe? It's very, very good. $5.60. Who is Grand Jury from? Who's producing the Blackjack? Damn, this guy is a good breeder. He's a very underrated racer. He's up there with the top Z1 racers, and not many people know about him because he's a bit of a sort of a toiler, you know, not that flashy, but 19% win rate, right, over 233 races. Some of them will be free, of course. But look at these, look at he's been producing. I mean, you can't sort of take much into account for, you know, these ones, but Jiggity's here, 15% runner. Grand Jury there, looking good. And then Zen Master doing pretty well. He is a breeder. Keep your eye out for Blackjack offspring. And I'm honest, you know, Breathless Edge and Grandeur aren't producing the goods. Blackjack is, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, oh, do we have another race coming up? Where are we? I lost it. Here we go. Has it already started? Might have missed it. Oh no, 2 minutes. All right. Alex, congrats, mate. That's nice. Am I invested in any other NFTs? Yes, a couple of others. Chicken Derby, however you say it. I'm into that. A few others as well. Not heavily. Obviously, do your own research. Not financial advice, because there's so much dodginess in this NFT world. Gav, thoughts on breeding being pegged to ETH given the increasing ETH prices? It's not perfect, is it? It's not perfect. Be interesting to see if they bump these base prices up to 0.25 like they said. I think that is a big overcorrection in the wrong direction. I would like to see them at least implement the correct formula first of all, which I think was a base price of about 0.075. And if they are going to bump it, like bump it to 0.1 and let's take a look at it for a month. Going to 0.25 means breeding a Nakamoto Z2 minimum would be like 0.8 of an ETH. Who's going to pay 0.8 for a Z2? No one, because there'll be multiple Z1s there sitting there at 0.8. So yeah, it'll be an interesting balance. I think 0.25 is too much. We've had some more people pay. We're at 19 likes, 34 viewers. Some people think this content is not good enough for a like, for the entry fee. Fair enough, I suppose. I'm not much of a race commentator. I just thought it'd be cool to spend some time with you whilst I watch my horses race and we can answer some questions. I got a couple of big videos coming out. Oh, and I forgot. If you want to be in with a chance of winning a Genesis Z8 Gainsborough Super Rare filly, have a look in the description for the link to the giveaway video. All right, check that out. Jonas, I'm already looking at Rumble Kong. I bought my first Rumble Kong league yesterday. I was trying to keep that hush hush. No, I wasn't really. So I could grab a few more, but yeah, I do. I think that's, I quite like that project. But again, any of these could be a rug pull or a scam or lose all your money. So keep that in mind. Who are we watching here? Gallagher. One of my favourite names, Gallagher. Who remembers that game? It's a cracking game. What are we watching? We're watching a 1000 Gallagher. I'm not even going to have time for the odds. I don't know. I think his odds were okay. Maybe like 10s? 500 to go. I didn't load up my best horses like Insane, him and Breathless, but can we get a result? It looks half decent, doesn't it? It's going to be close to a place. I don't think it's good enough for first. Might be sneaky third, or is it another? It's like fifth or something. Okay. Can't even see her. Sixth. What do you expect? They're not the greatest horses in the world, these ones. I was just sort of testing them before I put them on the market. Obviously, make sure that I'm not selling a monster, but also it does reveal to anyone interested that they're not a monster too, pretty much. All right, one more, and then we'll do some questions. Make sure you hit the sub button, that'd be cool. The like and the sub. Now I'm pushing my friendship, aren't I? Better check. I'll address that in a minute, Jason, that question about racing and breeding and where the money is, etc., etc. I think the balance is significantly out at the moment. Collusion is running. That's who was running in this race. What are the odds of collusion? Where are we? Yep. Oh, what race is it? Seattle Chase. 10 seconds to quickly check the odds. Yeah. 2 seconds. Collusion. Oh, 20 to 1. All right. Donkey, donkey, donk, donk. All right. I'm giving you all some money back tonight. I don't do a lot of racing myself, actually. I would like to do more. I just haven't had the time to do it. And I don't really have any huge monsters. I've got a few class 1s that are okay. Well, more than okay. You can buy 3 racing pigs in OpenSea for $300. All right. Sounds like the chicken game, Chris. It's a bit like that, a bit like Mario Kart crossed with Zed Run. What's this 20 to 1 I got? It's probably literally about 100 to 1 shot of winning. Right, we're halfway home. Be quite happy with the post to just loom up right now whilst we're in first. Not going to happen. This could be a last, this one. I'll have to check it out, Chris. I will have to check it out. Oh, I think collusion is just dawdling home for what I would think is going to be a 10th, 11th. It's going to beat that one next to it. Maybe. All right, good on you, Fireboy. Have you got this one? I think so. You're close. French something. Fireboy got it. French Coulee? Coulee? Ah! All right, all right. Let's answer some questions. Let's go back to... This won't be a long one. Won't be a long one. All right. Some questions. Wow, there's a lot of chit-chat. Drop a few more questions in if you like, and I'll just skim through them, find the good ones. Alert received, Joe. Awesome. Finally got a chance, Johnny. Haven't been doing much live lately, so it's not like you've been missing too much. Yo, did you fix your frames per second issue? Looks a little better. I know, right? I'm still a little bit not quite there. I bought another camera, but it's only a fraction, it's only a slight upgrade. It's still not 60 frames a second. But when I got plenty of money and I've moved my studio out of the double garage, the next step will be a good quality high frame per second camera for the time being. You know, it's still, you would think that with this many horses, you're making heaps of money. And look, it's good, but it's not like spend thousands of dollars on gear kind of money just yet. Haven't heard anything about the next drop mark. I don't know how Zed is proverbially fair, probably fair. I can't even pronounce that word. Crown witness. All right, let's have a look at Crown Witness here for Justin. You can hear the garage door creaking in the background, probably, with the wind blowing outside. Average odds 12.7. Look, it's okay. It's okay. You know, try and have a look through these and see where your best win percentage is coming from and where your best odds are, and focus on that, and you might be able to lift that win percentage up. They're all very even though, so wherever you're winning, probably go there for distance, or even check your times. Your deviation on your times is good too. What's the horse look like? What's it bred from, or is it Genesis? It's a Genesis. They're not breeding all that well, are they? And they're probably not selling all that well either at the moment, the old Zed Legends, but Z10 or 20 Legends or whatever they are, 20, 18, 20. But I hope Zed can balance that out. Absolutely. There's a video coming tomorrow or the next day where I'm talking about the biggest threat to Zed and how they need to look after the little stables. Make sure the little stables are the closest to profitability as possible. Give them the best chance to start with. I know not everyone can be profitable, but there needs to be a larger percentage of the early stages profitable. At the moment, it looks like they're being taken advantage of, and we need to turn that around. Sneaky at work, Brendan. Good stuff. We talked about that. Grand jury. Good work, Alex. That is a beast. I'm not going to be selling too many more blackjack foals, that's for sure, unraced. He keeps producing the goods. Mike's a bit quiet. It's on borderline clipping, so it's as loud as I can go. Turn your volume up, Lachlan. Breeding peg to ETH, yeah, we spoke about that already. I don't think it's ideal, but we will see. Rumble Kongs, I'm looking at Rumble Kongs. Paid the entrance fee, hit the like button. I'm good, thanks, Talit. How are you? Interesting question here from Finoli. With ETH increasing, do you think most newcomers are priced out of the game? And what's your take on breeding prices increasing if ETH continues to rise? Well, that's going to have to be a moving target, the ETH minimum, I think. If ETH goes to like 5K or something, 5,000 USD, and those minimums were like 0.25, and all of a sudden we're talking 2,000 US dollars for a pretty average horse just to breed, like that is bonkers. That's bonkers. So there's a lot of things they need to sort out. The video coming out tomorrow or the next day, number one priority is look after the little fish. Make sure the little fish are happy and thriving in the environment. Currently what I'm seeing is the entry-level horses are the Buterin Legends and Exclusives. And I think I've got some pretty ordinary numbers on how profitable they are per percentage. You know, it's just shocking. That when they come into racing, that nearly none of them are profitable. And that means that nearly all entry-level stables, their first horse is not profitable. That's crazy, absolutely crazy. That has to change. Nice, Jackson. Let's have a look at this said horse. What was his name? He's got first bred horse, $4 odds in the Griffey. That's like a dream. Sith. Am I pronouncing that right? I don't know. SCYTHE. Yep. What is he? Z18 Buterin. That's a good sign. If you're getting $4 with a Buterin, because the thing is, right, you'll often get $4 with a knack, maybe even a Zabo, but knacks in particular are known for their consistency. So a knack that gets a $3 or a $4 odds in a Griffin doesn't mean much because they can move on to their next class 3 or class 2 race and they can be 20 or 30 to 1 quite easily. But because Buterins are not known for their consistency, it's a little bit, not 100%, but a little bit more reliable when a Buterin gets a $4 odds, because they're probably not going to be that 4th to 6th style horse. They could be, but it's not as likely. So this could be a decent horse. It's hard to tell, isn't it? You could wait a little while until more of these horses have raced as well to see how good it is, but I'd throw it back in another race and see how it goes. I couldn't help myself. I think we looked at Crown Witness already, didn't we? Michael Jordan is in the house. How you doing, Michael? Loves these videos. Thanks, mate. Huge fan. He probably gets all that all the time. Sorry, mate. Link. I wasn't going to do a whole horse review show, but sure. Link. Cool name. I like it. Why am I getting an internal server error? Link? Where's Link? Link? Link. Nice. Very nice. It's getting a little out of its depth in class 2, maybe. See how you go with that. If it keeps throwing out these $15 odds in its favourite distances, I'd try it down at 1,000 and 1,200 in class 2. See how you go. Pretty good horse though, nice one. Alex, good one, mate. Couple more horses, then we'll just go and skip to questions. Hecarium. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen, aren't I? It doesn't matter. Sorry. You're on the wrong screen. It's not great, is it? Z18 Buterin. I mean, this is to be expected from Z18 Buterins, that you're getting $45 odds and then 22s and 17s and stuff later. This is what I'm talking about. These things are not reliable and potentially shouldn't be racing. They should be racing like for like, in my opinion. They need like for like races. Buterin legendary races and Buterin exclusive races. Maybe. I don't know what the solution is, but if all the beginners are buying these style horses as entry-level horses, then we need to find a way to make them somewhat competitive in the beginning. A bit of a softer start. You can't go spending $200, $300, $400, $500, spend your entire budget, and then the horse sucks. Now, I know that not all horses can win, and if you spend your whole budget, then it's kind of on you, but it's a lot of money to be spending on what is 99% to be a sucky horse. That needs fixing, and fast. We're going to skip through some questions now. Ish. All right, where are we? Let's go back to full screen, hey? Where were we? About here. Get some racing pigs. All right, I will check out racing pigs. Discord me a link, Chris, if you have one, and I'll take a look. Jerry, how long does it take for Zed to move from colt to stallion or filly to mare? As soon as they breed, they switch. So you got the 30-day breed wait, then as soon as you breed, switches over. Almost instantly, I think. Congrats, Joshua. Congrats and welcome. Just stick it out, mate. You need to learn the game, learn what's good, learn where to spend your budget. And I'm hoping it's going to get more balanced in the future. Galaga. Thanks, Gav, for the pronunciation correction. As fun as it is to race, seems like the real value is unbred, unraced. Yeah, there's a certain aspect to unbred, unraced, like gambling, where people like the unscratched lottery tickets and they attach more value to that. Whereas I think you might be better off, like literally saving up your money and buying a decent racer or a decent breeder. We'll see. 50th stable win. Congrats, Jamie. You can buy 3 racing pigs in OpenSea for $300. Well, it depends. If the game's got no following and, you know, and I don't like the roadmap, then $300 for 3 is expensive. But if it has following and I like where it's going, then 300 is cheap. So it's all relative. I pass on 19 out of 20 projects, I would think. Nice, Jason. Just sold 2 Z8s and bought in a Z5. Cool. So Wall Street and Grandeur, not monsters. Yeah, Grandeur is a monster as far as racing is concerned. He's one of the best Zed ones in the game. Slightly in front of Blackjack, slightly behind Breathless Edge of the horses in my stable. There's obviously other Zed ones that are up there as well. Wall Street is not on the same caliber as a racer, no way. But as a breeder, he is excellent. You know, let's have a quick look at those two. Just quickly, I've had a quick look at all your horses. Let's just have a quick look at some of mine here. Let's go to, I want to show you, for those that missed out, like Blackjack. I'm not sure about the name Blackjack, to be honest. Isn't Blackjack the card game one word? But he's an excellent racer and is proving to be a really good breeder. So you've got Grand Jury that just threw out $4 odds and then $5 or $6 odds in its first paid. It hasn't had a win yet, but it looks incredible. Well done, Alex. Jiggity's, which is my brother's horse, or my brother is running it. Look at this, like that is a nice horse. That's all paid. All right, 108 races, 17, 14, 5, 15%. Very, very nice. And then you've got Zen Master, you know, not the best, but 10% is not to be frowned upon. I don't know if that's free or paid, to be honest. You could look that up yourself if you want, Zen Master. And then if we switch over to Wall Street, not as good a racer as Blackjack. Can't compete at paid class 1s, but can breed. Very good breeder. You've got Lovely Witch here, mostly free to be honest, and then 7, 9, 13, 9, 12, 9, yeah, nothing too special there. Big Fish is very good, Blade is exceptional, and Go Long is very good. So those 3 there, those fairly recent ones are very, very good. Another 9, 8, another 11. So you don't get too many absolute donks. White Collar Crime, excellent. Fearless Girl, I'm not sure why she hasn't run a lot. Good stats though. So you're getting a high quality caliber horse from Wall Street. They're not monsters by any means, but they're certainly a higher quality offspring than average, I would suggest. All right, a couple more questions and we'll wrap this up. Speed versus odds, Mr. Spontaneous. Yeah, mate, I think they can both work in conjunction with each other. I think odds are an earlier tell. I think you can tell more from odds earlier. And then speed, once you have 5 or 6 races at any one given distance, can start to become more of a tell. Obviously with odds being shifted out, then speed is going to be probably the number one tell for what is a good horse, as well as results, obviously. I have a horse that has great fastest but low odds. Has a great fastest but low odds. Yeah, take it with a grain of salt. Read them together. Sean, Axie Infinity is getting big growth and engagement. Yes, they've got a very friendly newbie environment. And this is what really alerted me to how unfriendly the Zed ecosystem is to brand new players. Very unfriendly. All the entry horses pretty much suck across the board, barring like 1 in 100, 1 in 200. I'll have better numbers on that tomorrow. They could be off. I haven't really dug into the data, but I will. Whereas Axie, you can buy in for roughly the same amount, and then you got play to earn. So you've got all these different challenges to earn SLP, which is one of their crypto coins. I think Zed could take a lot from that. Regardless how they do it, they need to loosen up and make it easier for the new players or the small stables to make money. If the small stables can't make money, this game is dusted. It's done. Because if Zed themselves and the big stables are sucking all the money out, then eventually that dries out because all the little stables can't make money. So they leave. 1%, 5% of them make money and stay on, but there's not enough to sustain the ongoing draw out from the big stables and from the Zed rakes themselves. So the most important element of the ecosystem is the little fish have to thrive. And they're not, I don't think. I'm 14. What do you suggest the cheapest way in? Been looking at some tried horses with 2 to 3 races, no wins and okay odds. I would suggest take your time, learn as much as you possibly can, and then decide where your money is best off, because rushing into this game is sure to be met with a bad decision. Is crypto oink just a scam? I got no idea. First I've heard of it today. It could absolutely be. What are my thoughts on the value between male, female horses on the market? Females are definitely getting some good prices at the moment, and I think male horses that are not Genesis are always going to be lesser valued than female horses that are not Genesis, because of the fact that the females can help build your stable, and the males, there's going to be a lot of surplus males unless they're gun racers. You really don't need to breed with them because each filly can only handle 1 breed per month, and the colts the studs get 3. So you really only need 1 stud per 3 fillies. So unless that one colt is a gun breeder or a gun racer, he's probably not going to get used. So I think that value ratio is always going to be very similar, that the colts are your entry type horses and your fillies are your more thoughtful stable building type horses. Your colts will be more for just straight up trying and seeing if they're racers, whereas if your fillies are no good, you can still potentially use them and get value from breeding, maybe, at least for the time being. The Genesis argument is completely different though, because when you start looking into the subtleties of the game and see that you can hold the breed line at exclusive and at elite with exclusive and elite mares respectively when bred with Genesis studs, it doesn't take too many more breeding cycles before that demand for Genesis studs is soaked up by all the elites and exclusives, not to mention, of course, breeding Genesis with Genesis and creating legendaries. So on that level, not financial advice, but I like Genesis studs moving forward, and I like bred females. Okay, if you look at my stable, I'm hardly currently selling any of the female bred horses, and I've got a lot of stud Genesis. That is my strategy. Does it cost money to put your own colt in the breeding market, yes, you need to set the breeding fee for your colt or stallion when it goes into the breeding market. And then when you breed with that horse, you get, if you're doing it within your own stable, you get a 35% discount. Now, if you put that horse in too cheaply, you need to do your own research on what cheaply is. If you put that horse in too cheaply, it will get snapped up like that. I tried just recently to drop a few Z1s in a little bit cheeky, and we lost one breed of each of those Z1s, even though we were getting multiple people to take them quick. It's very advantageous to sit there and wait for a cheap Z1 to come up and just breed with it, because you'll make a lot of money that way. I've since sort of changed my tactics on that, and I put them in at a reasonable price. And with the new minimums coming, there won't be any of that breed sniping, to be honest, because who's going to breed snipe a Z2 Genesis for 0.8 Ethereum? That will be where they'll be sitting at based on the current formula if we raise the minimum breed price to 0.25. And the Z1s will be the same. They'll be 0.8 Ethereum. What's that? Must be like $2,000. More. 2,500 maybe. It's a lot. Be interesting to see what happens to the market. Phil. Hello, Phil. We've been chatting on email, I think. Yeah, Phil, the horse prices are not directly correlated to ETH, and they're not directly correlated to USD. So what you'll see happen is as ETH starts to go to the moon, if we get a big uptick like we've had in the last couple of weeks, and if that continues, you will see the ETH valuations slowly come down. But if you were to compare that to USD, it would be going up. So, and then the reverse happens if ETH goes down. The ETH prices slowly go up, but even though they're slowly going up, they're coming down slowly in USD. So it's sort of half-half, 50-50 correlated to USD and 50-50 correlated to ETH. Now, if you're doing some negotiating, when ETH is high, and if I'm doing a private message with someone, be careful when you private message for negotiating. Still try and do your deal, you know, say, often I'll contact a stable and say, hey, I see this horse is for sale. Would you accept anything less? And then I'll just drop the offer on OpenSea if they say yes. I don't like to do P2P type transactions because it's a bit dodgy. But what I'm suggesting is when I'm negotiating and ETH is high, I always quote my prices that I would like to buy for in USD, because saying to someone that, you know, I'd like to pay 2.5 ETH for this particular Genesis horse, that sort of, it's like funny money a little bit, like casino money. It doesn't really relate that well. But to say to someone, I'll give you 10,000 US dollars for this horse, it's like, 10,000 US dollars? All right. You know what I mean? I don't know if there's a psychological edge, but when ETH is up, I quote in USD when I'm buying, and when ETH is down, obviously I quote in ETH. Tyler's got a tough question for me. I feel like the game is rigged. Rigged? How do you get people into the game when OpenSea market cheap horse are all donkeys? I agree, mate. I've said that several times today already. You've checked a few hundred of them. Different distances don't look good. I agree, mate. 100% behind you on that. If our entry-level players are buying bred Buterins, then we need specific races to suit those horses that do not contain these monster horses. You know, the current class system is being revamped, but unless we're going to separate off, you know, the all-star horses, we need to protect those Buterin bred horses and have them running against other Buterin bred horses that have only had 1 or 2 races, not running against some other Buterin monster that's getting $4 odds and winning everyone's money. That is absolutely ridiculous, and in my opinion, taking advantage of the new players coming into the system. Okay, it looks like the new players are being taken advantage of. It's not on purpose. It's absolutely not on purpose. It's just the way things pan out. when you set up these structures, certain horses are always going to benefit. And at the moment, the horses that are benefiting are the ones that are well known and getting $4 odds and been discovered 3 months, 6 months ago. They should be long on shifted into an all-star league. All right, that all-star league can still have class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 if may be. But that all-star league might be horses that have raced 200, 300, 400, 500 times, and then they move up there. We also need another rookie league where you're only racing against horses that have only had, between 1 and say 20 or 50 races. All right, so when you've got that bred Buterin, it's going up against other bred Buterins that the owner doesn't really know how good it is. We really need to soften up the competition for those bred Buterins, for the new players, or I'm not sure how successful this can be moving forward. Those little fish have to thrive. If you agree with that, there's a dedicated video coming either tomorrow or the next day, and you'll be very interested in that. Adam, thoughts on Just Frank? Is that a horse? We won't do any more horses now. We'll be tracking horses, and then Dallas asks, will we be tracking horses via the new flame icon? So if your horse, when the odds are gone and your horse is in the top 3 likely chances to win the race, it'll get a little flame icon. We don't know what the flame icons are based on. Are they based on previous results? Like if your horse has gone first, second, first, will it get a flame even though it's a 20-to-1 shot? Maybe, maybe not, we don't know. The mystery is good. Having odds that reveal so much so early, in my opinion, is very, very bad. And then obviously you'll also have time splits or time deviation and faster speeds and all those sort of good things. But in saying that, you cannot remove the odds and have new horses racing against proven odds-known horses. I mean, you just can't. Surely that's not going to be the case. You cannot have Steph Curry running against horses that don't know their odds. And I'm not picking on Steph Curry, any of those, Vanilla Bean, Steph Curry, whoever else other monsters are out there. Congrats, Jace Jackson. First ever stable foal. We did that one, $4 odds, you're a legend. Phil, yeah, it's a free market. The prices will adjust down depending on the demand in the market. If people are paying the prices will stay up. If they're not paying the prices and people are desperate to sell, they come down. It's as simple as that. It is a free market. At the end of the day, Zed interfere a little bit with the breeding minimums, which manipulates the market to a degree. But at the end of the day, if there's no demand and people aren't buying horses, regardless of the breeding minimums, the prices will fall. I think times are a very good indicator, Gav. We'll all be on the same page. We will all not know how good our horses are. And I love that. I love the fact my brother's got a couple of horses that are 17, 20-to-1. And they start off win, third. Looks like a great horse. Look at the odds. Donkey. You know what I mean? When the odds are gone, that is brilliant. I don't even want the flames, to be honest. Get rid of the flames. I don't want to know the top 3. I want complete mystery. I can only hope those flames are derived from results. Can you hear me all right still? Let me just scan down. Wow, there's so many questions. All right, we'll do 10 more minutes. I want to make sure. Good. No one's complaining that they can't hear the audio. That's great. Smash the like, guys. 53 viewers and 46 likes. Come on, let's get that to above 100%. Now I've lost where I was. Somewhere here. Sorry if I missed your question because I've got lost. Saw a good one from Phil that I want to get to. Oh, I think I was about here. Luke, we'll do another horse review another day. I think, Sean, Play to earn managers are a great thing. I hope Zed brings it on shortly. But in saying that, we need some play to earn aspects in the game. Currently, it's more of a, is it pay to play model or pay to earn model? Rather than pay to earn rather than a play to earn. Does that make sense? So what I mean by that is Zed is more, you pay and then you might, if you get a good horse or you're good enough at the game and you make the right decisions, you can earn. Whereas Axie is basically, if you are playing, you're earning. It doesn't really matter on your skill set. You can just sort of grind away and make money. You can't do that in Zed currently. I would love to see some aspects of that within Zed, like some daily challenges where we can earn, you know, a free entry into a race, or, you know, if you do this, this and this, you get this, or I don't know. But we need to soften up that entry for the newbies. Taylor finally snapped a 57 race winless streak with a horse that averages $8.40. Yeah, I mean, I had Insane Him, which is known as one of the best horses in the game, pretty much. One of the best Z2s, no doubt about it, Z2 Genesis. He gets about $6 to $8 odds, and he went nearly 30 races without a win. So it's not beyond any horse to do that. It's a little bit unlucky, to be honest. But in saying that, Insane Him just before that went on a 6 straight win streak, 6 in a row. So your horse could do something similar to that as well. Yeah, Jamie, I tell you why I'm really positive. I've given Zed a bit of a hard score sheet, a bit of a hard report today. And I will do in the video that I produce tomorrow too, albeit rather straightforward and harsh on what I think the issues are moving forward. But what I have a great deal of confidence in is these very savvy startup investors that have just invested in Zed, their 20 million US dollars. They are not new to the startup space, and they understand that aggressively obtaining market share early is really important. So I expect the Zed strategy to change from what looks to be a profit grabbing strategy early to being a, you know, let the money flow to a certain degree and build the game up rapidly. Now, the reason they might have put the brakes on that as well might have been a really smart idea to slow down the growth. Because the growth was outpacing the servers, they might have put the brakes on a little bit, just, you know, with the different rakes, and made it a little bit harder to play early days just to slow down the speed. Now, once they are confident they can handle 500,000 players and the races that come with that, then they can open up the site to be much more beginner friendly and the explosion will grow. Let's cross our fingers that that is the case. That's what I have confidence in. Let's hope that's the case. I'm not sure your chances of getting a horse next drop, Gino. Anything above, anything below Z5, do you mean? Like Z8, Z6, 7, 8, 9, 10, underwater from last drop? I'm not sure that's the case. The Z1s certainly aren't. The Z2 fillies certainly aren't. Maybe the Z3s are. I know the Z5s are because I've been buying them. Sorry, Sean, what was the question? I dead set answered your question a couple of times, didn't I? Axley Infinity is getting big growth. Thoughts on that? I definitely answered that just 5 minutes ago. Message retracted. Was I getting abusive messages here, Sean? That's hilarious. Smash the like, guys. Thank you. Far away Galaxy Games. Why doesn't Zed ramp up racing volumes with increasing server capacity on Fastly? This seems the most logical use of investor capital. Yeah, Phil, I think they're trying to get some things in place, going back to what I just said a couple of sentences ago, about ramping up server capacity, ramping up races, and making the ecosystem more beginner friendly. Okay, and then we see the explosion when they feel like they're confident they can handle that explosion. Okay, so knowing that the game is not optimal for beginners at the moment might have been a roundabout backwards strategy to keep the growth down, maybe. Do I have any cheap Genesis colts? I don't sell anything cheap, Pezza. I sell it at market or above because I value Genesis horses higher than most people. Sean, you like a broken record. Axel Infinity is getting big growth. Classic. Anyway, if you want to get my attention, keep dropping it in there. I'm not, even though it's my granddaughter or grandson, Breathless Snow, we're not going to look at any more horses right now. You're actually catching a live one. It's been a long live one too. Yeah, we're switching Quiet Penguin Gaming. We're switching to fixed pricing now because unfortunately, dodgy things in the crypto world, some people can't be trusted and have been accepting bids where we would prefer that they didn't after racing horses and then flicking them on to other people. So our sales, have a look in the description below for the link to Poseidon's sales email list, will now be fixed prices. And look, the good thing about that is we can put them a little bit cheaper because, to be honest, I feel like the people bidding on our cheaper horses have been slightly overpaying. They've been getting some incredible bargains at the high end, in my opinion, but probably overpaying at the low end. So now we can maybe place the low end at a better value point, and then also we'll place our high-end horses at a better value point where we think they should be and where we won't necessarily let them go for any less than that. We would rather keep them. There was a couple of horses last round that we thought were worth 0.5 or 0.6, but the market didn't appreciate them and they sold for 0.2. And I'll give you a little bit of background on that. It was a Buterin Z13 or 14 maybe, but the last breed was with a Zed Run. All right, try breeding with a Z1 for 0.2. It's probably not going to happen. So it had Z1 blood, 50% Z1 blood, and went on to be a very good horse. But people are not appreciating. In fact, if you're going to buy a bred Buterin, see if you can find one with Nakamoto in it. Maybe. Not financial advice. Manny Ramirez. How many horses, how many races does a horse need to get the feel for their distance? Couple, 3 or 4, 2 or 3. After 2 or 3 races, you should have a good idea if that horse is competitive at that distance via the odds currently. In the future, when it's more on time splits, you might need 10 races. And then when they add gate preference and weather preference and location preference, it's going to be a lottery. Well, not a lottery, but it's going to take some real skill in figuring out this game. Good question, Jason. Curious on my opinion if it is worth racing your horse at the moment or just keep them in the stable unraced, unbred. We don't know how long this is going to be, but for horses that are likely to be not great odds, it's probably better to leave them unraced until the odds are gone, maybe. Because if then they come out and win the first race, like they're good, but then do you sell them or do you keep racing and figure it out? It's really interesting. Thank you, Lofty Dog, for paying the entry fee. Gav, really interested on my thoughts on using mean and standard deviations of times as a substitute for odds. Yeah, we spoke about that earlier. I think it's the way of the future. I think it's the best indicator for the future is being able to read mean and standard deviations. I have no idea on the difference right now, and I couldn't explain it. And I've been a bit lazy because odds are still there, but as soon as odds have gone, I'll be digging into that deeply and letting everyone know, number one, how to read that and what to look for. Monsters are running 16 times a day. Do you think Zed will turn on fatigue in weeks or months? I think it's coming soon. I would say within the next 4 weeks. Okay. Sean, do you work for Axie Infinity or something, mate? Thank you, Sid Suri. Have I seen donkeys produce profitable horses? Absolutely. Yeah, there's quite a few monster horses running around that came from donkeys. All right, a couple more and we're done. I am not in the digital derby. Just don't have time. I don't use any tools. I just use the odds like at Hawku or Hawker, Hawku, and Know Your Horses. And I just watch odds at the moment and keep my eye on that. I don't race a lot. I probably race like 4 horses a day, 4 or 5 races, that's it. Max, less. My brother does all the racing. Great stuff, Travis. You got one of the good ones, sounds like. All right, we might wrap it up there. I'll do a couple more questions. Far Away has a dilemma. Has a Z19 filly. Not bred or raced. Ask myself, should I race or breed? I don't think that unraced Z19s are going to be worth a buttload because in 10 years' time, there'll be just as many of them being produced, if not maybe more. So I wouldn't have a problem breeding or racing it, but keep in mind if you race it right now with the odds and it gets 40 to 1, bye-bye value to a degree. I don't know enough about Z19s to know what they cost unraced and what they cost 44 to 1 odds, but there's probably a difference between that. What would I like to see replace odds in the future? I would like to see odds, but history-based odds on results. You know, if you've got a horse that gets great results in the wet from gate XYZ, et cetera, and we've got some smart algorithms that can read that and generate some odds and say, look, this horse is 9 to 1 in this race. But if you put him in the wrong gate in the dry, 40 to 1. Do you know what I mean? Like based on results. They need to bring in wagering on races for smaller stables. I don't know if that's the solution, maybe. I've been thinking about it like a lot lately, like how do they make this, like one of the things that I would love to see, right, is a bit of a Buterin league, and it's a Buterin bred league. It's not a Buterin Genesis league. You have to have a bred Buterin and it has to have, say, less than 10 races to enter. And then you enter the league, and in that league, maybe 50 horses enter, and you have a round robin, okay, and that lasts for 2 or 3 days. You get all this information about your horse, how good it is at all these different distances against all these different horses. And then at the end, maybe you have a final of the final 12 horses, and the prize money is sort of handed out. And maybe you could hand out prize money for, you know, the most, obviously the first, second, third in the final race. Maybe it goes down 4th, 5th, 6th or something like that. And then what else? You could hand out a bit of money here and there, somewhat randomly, I'm not sure. But, you know, get a bit more race time. At the moment, you're just sort of entering and losing all this money against good horses. Like race like for like. You all just keep dumping questions on me. The new update is going to make the U horse and V horses worthless because it won't matter anymore. Maybe. Maybe. You won't be able to race them as often, but you might have to be a bit more choosy on racing them in the $50 race instead of racing them in 10 $5 races, I think. Mark, I got no idea if it's a good time to build a stable or hold off. You need to arm yourself with as much information as possible and then decide which horses best suit your style and then decide if they are currently cheap or expensive. Okay, I'm going to scroll to the bottom and answer a question down the bottom. Maidens for winless horses. This is coming. This is being implemented as per a recent announcement. They're having 0 win % races. As I said when I heard that announcement, that's great as long as you cannot enter your horse into that particular 0% race until after you've had, say, 5 or 10 races. Because all that will happen is there's hundreds of griffin horses each day coming through, and only 1 out of 12 wins a griffin race. And the other 11 out of 12 will go into the 0% race. All right, so the actual 0% horses that should be in there getting their first win will probably never get one because they're racing against good griffin horses that just happen not to win their first griffin or their only griffin. So we just need to make sure that there's a bit of a stop period, okay, a bit of a qualification period for a 0 race event. Otherwise, it's not going to suit the purpose that they intend. All right, that might do it. Why my horse lose every time? Yeah, maybe it's not a great horse. Study what's a good horse. You know, don't keep putting your losing horses into races where they're losing money. If you lose 5 or 10 $2.50 races in a row, you've got to look at the data. Got to look at the data, look at the speed, look at the odds, look at the results, and only put your horses in races where they have a potential of winning. Carl, last question. Remember to hit the like and sub button. There's a big video coming tomorrow or the next day, as I said. And for those that weren't here in the beginning, if you want to win a Genesis Z8 Gainsborough Super Rare filly, details in the description on how to enter or to how to find and watch the giveaway video. Carl, how many winless races would you run with a horse before moving it on or breeding it? I'm pretty harsh. I only run like 4 or 5 at the moment with the odds, but that's going to change. This is the beautiful thing. Every horse will need to probably run 20 times at least to get any sort of gauge on it once the odds are gone. And look, a lot of people are saying, oh, that's going to cost everyone money. No, it's not. No, it's not, because we'll all be in the same boat. None of us will know what's going on. Okay, so as long as they get that class system correct and make sure that the horses that don't have odds history are not running against horses that do, that is important, then no one will have an advantage and all those horses will have to run. So how many of us have had donkeys that are getting 15, 18, even 20 to 1, win a couple of their early races, and we retire them pretty much because the odds say so? You know, those horses could actually be good. Maybe the odds are wrong. They could be good. All right, please start going live more often. I would love to, but there's only so many hours in the day. I've got to work my other job, do all those other things. All right, that will do it. That will do it. That will do it. We'll wrap it up there. Make sure you, please, I would appreciate it if you hit the like button. We have got more likes than viewers. Woo! Hopefully a few more subbies. And as I said, make sure you have a look in the description. There is a link to the giveaway video, a Genesis Z8 Gainsborough Super Rare filly, probably valued at a couple of $1,000. Easy. All right. Mr. Spontaneous, I am a photographer, professional photographer and photography educator. Go to www.australianphotographer.com and you'll see my photography. All right, we'll chat soon. Bye for now.